That choice is going to put us in a stronger position internationally, a stronger position for jobs and trade, and you know what? It's going to bring back law and order and drain the swamp. God bless you for voting. God bless our next Vice President of the United States, Mike Pence, a great man. And God bless Donald Trump, the man who is going to show us how this country should be run. And God bless you. Thank you. I'm Keith Faber. God bless you. This next speaker has served 2 tours in Iraq as a Marine. He also happens to be the Ohio Treasurer. Please welcome to the stage, Josh Mandel.
Good evening, Cincinnati. You know, as treasurer of the state of Ohio, I come across a lot of people in politics. Some of them by the time they're age 50, they want to be governor. By the time they're age 60, they want to be senator. By the time they're age 70, they want to be president. I try to keep my goals relatively simple. By the time I'm 40, I just hope to be shaving. Thank you all for having me here tonight. It's such an honor to be here to celebrate the next president of the United States, Donald J. Trump. You know, throughout the campaign, there were a lot of people who were bailing on him. There were a lot of people who were avoiding him, but I got to tell you, I was proud to stand up and endorse him and vote for him, and the reason he's going to be the next president is because of all of you out here doing the same exact thing. Now, one of the reasons I believe Mr. Trump was elected president is because a lot of people throughout Ohio and throughout America recognized that a lot of things in our country were backwards. The cops were being made out to be the bad guys. I think the cops are the good guys. People of faith were being made out to be bigots. I believe our country is based on a freedom of religion, not a freedom from religion. And one of the other things that's backwards is that we have certain leaders in this country who were afraid to call out radical Islamic terror when it was happening right in our backyard. And unfortunately, just a few days ago at Ohio State, we had a radical Islamic terrorist who tried to kill innocent students right there at Ohio State. And you know, Mr. Trump has been talking about stopping sanctuary cities. Let me talk to you for a second about sanctuary cities. There are crooked politicians throughout this country who are violating federal law. There are crooked politicians throughout this country who are ignoring federal law, ignoring federal immigration laws, and allowing illegal immigrants to live in their communities and not reporting it to the federal authorities. Think about this for a second. Elected officials ignoring the law. Now, in my mind, we should do everything we can to stop illegal immigration and stop sanctuary cities. So you think the response of this Islamic terror attack at Ohio State would be to stop sanctuary cities and be vigilant against Islamic terrorism? Listen what happens. At the State House 2 days ago, we had these crazy liberals come and protest in the State House, calling on me and the other state government leaders to make Columbus, Ohio, a sanctuary city. Over my dead body, will Cincinnati or Columbus or Cleveland or any of these become sanctuary cities? No, no, no. Will not happen here in the state of Ohio. Let me finish up by saying this. We are a country based and founded on Judeo-Christian values. Mr. Trump, President-elect Trump, Vice President-elect Pence embrace these Judeo-Christian values. And you have in this country some of these crazy liberals and others who are trying to take religion out of our country and out of our states. Let me tell you something. What we should be doing now, we shouldn't be watering down on those Judeo-Christian values. We should be doubling down on those Judeo-Christian values. I'm so proud to be here celebrating Mr. Trump's presidency. I'm so proud to be here with you, and it's my honor to introduce to you Mr. Trump's, President-elect Trump's senior policy advisor, Mr. Stephen Miller. Thank you so much.
How are we doing tonight, Ohio? How excited are all of you about the journey we are going to take these next 8 years? Now, as all of you know, the election was just the start, because there is a lot of work for us all to do. You saw today the beginning of that effort when President-elect Trump went to Indiana and announced that the jobs at Carrier are staying in America where they belong. Get ready for a lot more good news like that. But folks, if we're going to keep jobs in this country, if we're going to keep jobs for Americans, if we're going to keep wages for Americans and American families, then every single person in this room is going to have to stay active and stay engaged every day for the next 8 years. Because as all of you know, there are a lot of people in this country and around the world who've been getting rich off the rigged system for a very long time. And it's going to take energy, dedication, and passion that I know each and every one of you has to support our president-elect so he can finish the job. Let's talk about another big issue, and that's the issue of border security and immigration control. Now, for how many years has the border been left open? For how many years have you hoped and prayed for someone to come along and secure that border? After all these years, after all this waiting, the prayers of Ohio and this country have finally been answered. The long wait is over. Starting in January of 2017, illegal immigration will be a thing of the past. and change is going to happen across the board. But he's going to need your help. The president-elect is going to need your help so we can get a new Supreme Court justice in the mold of Justice Antonin Scalia. He's going to need your help to fight, to preserve, and protect your right to keep and bear arms and to protect your homes and your property and your communities. He is going to need your help. He's going to need this movement to continue and to grow so that we can lower our taxes, cut our regulations, and save American jobs. Folks, I want you all to remember why you're doing this, and I want you all to remember what you're fighting for and who you're fighting for. It's every single community that has lost a factory and a plant and been plunged into a depression. It's every mother who can't afford childcare for her kids. It's every father who can't afford childcare for his kids. It's every parent who's worried about their children's future, who wants a safe school, who wants a rising quality of living, and it's for every American who suffers from crime and violence and poverty and despair. You are on the side of every single person who deserves a better future, and never let anyone tell you different. This is the movement of hope. This is the movement of love. This is the movement of America and for Americans. So in closing, let me ask you this one question. Are you ready tonight to show the whole world just how ready you are to stand behind our president-elect, Donald J. Trump? Thank you. God bless you. God bless this beautiful state.
Again.
Joe Seals back here in the RSBN studios here in Auburn. Thank you guys for tuning in and being patient with us. We just made it back in the nick of time from Indianapolis. The same guy who shot the rally in Indianapolis is actually now here back in Cincinnati. We were called to India at the last minute, so we just made it back in the nick of time. And we want to thank the people on the Trump press lead team for making it happen and making us allowing us to get back in time. Really appreciate all the help. Amazing people, and I want to thank everybody so much for being patient and tuning in tonight with us here on Right Side. We have been at the office all day putting together cubicles. The grand studio tour is near. We are building a new newsroom and a new studio in here in Auburn, and also stay tuned for an announcement hopefully soon about our DC office. We're working on that as we speak because we plan on being in Washington and at all of the White House press briefings. We'll be at the inauguration. We want to have a permanent presence in DC, and we also have new programming coming very soon. This is going to be top-notch stuff, folks. This is not kid stuff. This is real stuff. It's coming soon. It's all because of you guys. You guys have been with us since the beginning. You've been loyal to us, and we certainly appreciate everything, all your support, all the donations. We are a company that we basically live by your donations. Your donations are the lifeblood of our company, and I make a plea tonight to you guys to please help us continue. We have come so far. And we have so many plans, and if you could help us out at rsbn.tv/donate, there are so many things that are coming in the near future that you're going to be amazed by. And we're going to change the way the media operates, and we'll be announcing things soon with some of the partners that we're working with and things like that. That you'll see all this very shortly, and it's all because of you. So we want to thank you, and as you see, our cameras still turn. It wouldn't be an RSBN camera if it didn't turn, and so we're gonna continue to show you the crowds, even though we've already won, and it just feels really good, and we want to thank everybody. Please donate at rsbn.tv/donate. We are making progress, and in our fight against the mainstream media and changing the way things operate. And we owe it all to you. Thank you. I don't want to go too much more into this, but we will have the Trump Tower elevator camera back up tomorrow. It may not start at 8 as we have people flying into New York tonight, and it depends on when they get there. We'll have the camera up tomorrow from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. tentatively. It may start a couple hours early tomorrow. We will also have Saturday. We'll be down in New Orleans for an event in Louisiana with Governor Mike Pence. Will be down there, and we'll be traveling to New Orleans and bringing you coverage live from there of that event. You don't want to miss that. And then next week we have a lot coming. Next week is going to be a big week for us. So thanks everybody for tuning in, and we will update you here shortly. How about some music? You guys have been missing our music. Everybody remember the rally music? We're going to play it just like old times. We're getting the band back together tonight. Feels good. You guys are amazing. We'll see you here in a little bit. Imagine this, folks. 112 million views on the Right Side Broadcasting YouTube channel during the election. Trump wins the election virtually with the help of 120,000 voters in Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania. There are a lot of people who probably pushed Mr. Trump over the top. But if you look at our views, and if you look at the amount of votes that Trump won by in Michigan, less than 10,000 or 10,000. Pennsylvania, 68,000. Wisconsin, 37,000. We played a big role in that, and that is a great honor. And by no means am I saying we're responsible. There are several people that if we would not have all came together, this would have never been happening right now. And we're honored and humbled to play a part. And Right Side is committed to continuing to be a part of this and to follow Mr. Trump wherever he goes. We have people that will be in the White House. We have so many things planned, and again, we can't do it without your help at rsbn.tv/donate. Please share our videos and share our Facebook post at facebook.com/rightsidebroadcasting. Also follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/RSB Network, at RSB Network on Twitter. Thank you for all the support. Back to the music. We're taking requests, so let us know if you have any song that I'm going to play Coldwater Canyon. How's that? Let's play some Coldwater Canyon.
About me, yeah, This is a good night. It's a good night to be in Ohio, across the river from Kentucky. Kentucky, the first state in America that was called for Donald Trump 3 weeks ago. Ohio, the state that as soon as the media stopped saying it was a swing state, you knew the beginning of the end had come for the Democrat Party. This is a good night to be an American, is it not? I will tell you this, we've heard a lot of things in recent days, in recent weeks, in recent months. We've heard a lot of things about how the candidate who is about to be now our next president was unconventional. He was unorthodox. He was unprepared. He was unscripted. I'll tell you what he wasn't. He wasn't unelectable. That's for sure. And I'll tell you this, and reasons that he got elected are because of all of you that are here. It is because this is a man who touched the core of the American psyche, the likes of which has not been seen in a long, long time, if ever in our lifetimes. I will tell you this as a guy who has been blessed to live it. The American dream is alive and well. The American dream is a real thing. The American dream is not some ethereal notion. It's not some anecdotal story. It's not a fairy tale or something that once was. It is alive and it is well. And with Mike Pence and Donald Trump, we have the ability to believe in it. We have the ability to realize it. We have the ability for people to be able to pursue it, the likes of which they've not had in a very, very long time. I will be honest with you, 3 weeks and some change ago when this election occurred, I have never in my life been so grateful. I have never been so appreciative. I have never been so proud of the people of the United States of America. Because this notion that we are a government of and by and for the people was proven with a resounding roar 3 weeks ago. Because
Folks, hang tight with us. We are fixing the delay in our stream. Please hang tight. Don't go anywhere. The stream will be up in less than 30 seconds. We are just fixing the delay on our stream to make sure that the audio and the video is synced. We got here and rushed to the risers because we have been in Indianapolis, and we just now got back in time. We arrived right at 7 o'clock, which was the deadline to get in. And thanks to the Trump people for getting us in. And here we go.
now come. There has not been a time, frankly, 1980, many in this room remember it. We were at various ages in our lives. But in 1980, America needed a strong president. But frankly, not since 1980 have we had the same sense of need in our people. And frankly, not even in 1980 did the world need a strong American president like they needed one this year. Not even in 1980. There needs to be a time and a place in the history as it unfolds where men and women of boldness, of creativity, of fearlessness step up and step out and take point. And that is exactly what Donald Trump was willing to do and has in fact done. When you look at where we were 75, 80 years ago as the world was devolving into what became World War II, and you saw all the excuse makers, all the pacifists, all the people with their heads in the sand, all the people who were literally in one instance and figuratively in many instances Neville Chamberlains, people who made excuses for and apologized for and were unwilling to stand up to what was actually happening. The world feared for what would happen. And there appeared on the scene in that one place and country a man who we know as Winston Churchill. After the nation was saved, after Europe was saved, and after the world was saved, people often referred to Winston Churchill as the Lion of England. And he said, I am not the lion. He said, the people of England are the lion. He said, but history has called upon me to deliver the roar. And I will tell you this, you are the lion. And you have called upon Donald Trump and Mike Pence to deliver the roar, and that's exactly what they are doing. The thing that I am most proud about, obviously I'm proud of Kentucky as the governor of Kentucky. I'm grateful to the people of Kentucky, who have clearly a lot of Kentuckians here in the front. But I'll tell you this, I'm proud of the fact that we represent the same core values that are on this side of the river too. That we represent the Judeo-Christian principles and the work ethic and the respect for the Constitution and the respect for our military and the respect for our law enforcement and the respect for our right to keep and bear arms. These are the values of America. This is what the American people believe. Absolutely. As a military veteran myself, and I know there's plenty in this room, I am grateful for the fact that so many have been willing to pay the ultimate price. When you think about this, 1.5 million Americans have given their lives in uniform since this nation began to afford us the ability to assemble freely, to talk as we are, to live without fear. This is a blessing that 99% of the world that has ever lived or will ever live will never experience. Great sacrifice was paid for our freedom. Great sacrifice. I will simply say this. It is an honor and a privilege not only to lead this state, but it's an honor and a privilege to be an American. We are blessed indeed as Americans. We are blessed indeed. As I look around this room, as I look at those even in front of me, you look at all the threads that comprise the tapestry of America. You look at the different colors of our skin. You look at the different genders, the different ages. You look at the different socioeconomic backgrounds from which we come, the different ways in which we're dressed, the different things that brought us here tonight, the different hairstyles that we have. We are all different, and yet the uniqueness of us binds us together in this beautiful mosaic. This is the greatness of America. And I will say this, the motto in Kentucky, which many of you know that is on our flag, united we stand, divided we fall. Say that with me. United we stand, divided we fall. My challenge to you is that you take that to heart. Are we unhappy with all the vitriol that was uncorked on Mike Pence and Donald Trump? You bet we were. But I'll tell you what, let's put that behind us. Let's bury it. Let's be the men and women who are bold enough, strong enough to step up, step forward, and lead this nation to a brighter future. It gives me unbelievable joy to introduce to you a man who is probably my closest political friend, who has become in recent years one of my closest personal friends as well. A man who I have the highest degree of respect for of anybody I know in the political arena or out. A man of the highest caliber of intellect, of maturity, of statesmanship. A man who brought to this ticket that is now going to lead this nation a measure of experience politically as a CEO of a state, as a Christian with values, and as a family man, as somebody who understands the greatness of America and is able to articulate that. A man who is a good friend of mine, a good friend of the American people's, a man who will lead us together with Donald Trump forward, the next Vice President of the United States of America, Mike Pence.
I'm Mike Pence. Because of your hard work, your support, and your prayers, I am deeply humbled to say that 50 days from today, with my family at my side, I will take the oath of office to serve as Vice President of the United States of America. And I'm here tonight to say thank you. I'm here tonight to say thank you for electing a president who will make America great again. So thank you to the people of Ohio, to the people of Kentucky, and I'll bet there's a few Hoosiers in the room. Thank you for doing your part to make Donald Trump the next president of the United States of America. He did it, and we have you to thank. Before I go on, let me just say, from our families to yours, our hearts go out to the victims and families of those who were injured in the horrific attacks that took place earlier this week in Columbus, Ohio. The victims are in our prayers, and we commend the swift and courageous action of law enforcement in that perilous moment. But let's be clear. Thanks to all of you, in just 50 days, we will have a president who supports the men and women in law enforcement at every level. We will have a president who will suspend immigration from all countries and territories compromised by terror. And we will have a commander-in-chief who will hunt down and destroy ISIS at its source. And thanks to you, we're going to have a president who will make the American economy great again. We'll repeal Obamacare and replace it with American solutions. We're going to cut taxes, roll back regulation, have trade deals that put American workers first, and we're going to get this economy moving for every American. And thanks to you right next door in my home state of Indiana. Today in Indianapolis, because of the bold leadership and vision of President-elect Donald Trump, a company that announced back in February that they were closing their doors and moving to Mexico, announced that now more than 1,100 good-paying jobs will stay right here in America. And the president-elect made it happen. Make no mistake about it, Carrier chose to stay in Indiana because America chose to make Donald Trump the next president of the United States. And thanks to you, we are going to enforce the laws of this country. For the citizens of this country, we're going to build a wall, and we're going to end illegal immigration once and for all. Oh, we will. And thanks to you. And thanks to you, we're going to have a president who will appoint justices to the Supreme Court of the United States, who will uphold our Second Amendment and all the God-given liberties enshrined in our Constitution. So we're here to say thanks. But mostly, I just want to say to you from my heart as a fellow American, thank you for giving America a new president. Thank you for giving America a new president whose strength, whose vision, whose leadership will make America great again faster than you could possibly imagine. So let me say to my friends from here in Ohio, from Kentucky, from Indiana, and all those looking on, it is my high honor and distinct privilege to introduce to you the President-elect of the United States of America, Donald Trump.
I love you too. Look at this place. So I didn't know what came with this position. And I didn't know that they closed down the roads around the stadium for an hour and a half. We got to work out a new deal with our Secret Service, but we love them, right? Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for being so patient. Thank you. Oh, you're going to be happy. We're all going to be happy. I'm here today for one main reason, to say thank you to Ohio. Thank you. We won the state by almost 10 points, which they say is totally unheard of. In fact, I don't know if you know, but at the beginning, they say you have to win Ohio. You must win Ohio, right? You heard it. Over and over and over. And we started off sort of even, and then we were 1 up and 2 up. We didn't have much help at the top levels, you know that, right? And that turned out it didn't matter. But we had help with the people, and that's what really did matter. So I kept hearing, you must win Ohio. You cannot win the presidency without Ohio. So we started really, we were about even, right, at the beginning. And then point by point by point. And then we had a couple of little troughs. But with Ohio, there was no trough. It just kept getting better and better. Just better and better. And the end result is incredible. I love you, Ohio. This is a great place, and great people. I have so many friends. Thank you. Thank you. In the true sense, history called and the people of this great state answered. And you're going to be very happy. We're going to say right now What are we going to do? We're going to make America great again. You watch. You went out and you pounded the pavement, organized your fellow citizens, and propelled to victory a grassroots movement, the likes of which the world has never seen before. This is what they say. Today on one of the networks, they said, maybe Andrew Jackson? I said, when was that? It was like in the 1838? And then somebody else said, well, that was great, but nothing like what happened here, okay? So it really has been fun. And more importantly, I heard Mike saying about what happened today in Indiana. We're going to do that all over the country. We're going to do it all over the country. Carrier, thank you, Carrier. Today we made history, and now the real work begins. That is the second reason that I'm here today. I'm going to discuss our action plan to make America great again. We're going to discuss it. Although we did have a lot of fun fighting Hillary, didn't we? Okay. Right? And by the way, the people are continuing to pour in, so let them come in. We could wait a half hour, an hour, but I don't think we're going to do that, right? Let them pour in. Let's blame them for being late, right? But as I said, just now I was in Indianapolis to announce that we're saving the jobs at the Carrier plant from going to Mexico, 1,100 jobs. And I'm asking all companies to keep their jobs in America, and we will work to make America a better environment for workers and businesses. And we will crack down on all foreign trade abuses that undermine your ability and your company's ability to compete. Those days are over when those companies are going to leave. We have so many problems to fix in our country, but I know that if we set aside our differences, and we do have differences, we're a very divided nation, but we're not going to be divided for long. I've always brought people together. I know you find that hard to believe, although this group probably doesn't find it hard to believe. But we are going to bring our country together, all of our country. We're going to find common ground, and we will get the job done properly. We'll get it done properly. And so importantly, America will start winning again, big league. We're going to win again. But to succeed, we must enlist the effort of all Americans. For too long, Washington has tried to put us in boxes. They separate us by race, by age, by income, by geography, by place of birth. We spend too much time focusing on what divides us. Now is the time to embrace the one thing that truly unites us. You know what that is? America, America. It's America. Because when America is unified, nothing is beyond our reach. I mean that. You're going to see. You're going to see. We're going to have a country that was never so great. You watch, in so many different ways. You hear a lot of talk about how we're becoming a globalized world. But the relationships people value in this country are local. Family, city, state, country, they're local. We'll compete in the world. We want to compete in the world. But we're going to compete in the world where it's a two-way road, not a one-way road. The advantages are going to come back to our country, and they haven't for many, many years. There is no global anthem, no global currency, no certificate of global citizenship. We pledge allegiance to one flag, and that flag is the American flag. From now on, it's going to be America first, okay? America first. We're going to put ourselves first. We seek peace and harmony with the nations of the world, but that means recognizing the right of every country, including our own, to look after its citizens. We would put other countries first. We had people running our country that truly didn't know what the hell they were doing, okay? Didn't know what they were doing. We're going to defend the American worker. Look what's happened right here. They forgot about the American worker. They forgot that it was the American worker who truly built our country. We are not going to forget, believe me. One of the reasons we're so divided today is because our government has failed to protect the interests of the American workers and their families, making it too easy for us to see ourselves as distinct groups and not unified as a whole. We're not unified. We're going to be. Washington's politicians have spent so long appealing to competing interests, they've forgotten how to appeal to the national interest, combining the skills and talents of our people in a common cause. And we have unbelievable talent. But that is all about to change. Our goal is to strengthen the bonds of trust between citizens, to restore our sense of membership in a shared national community. Global is wonderful, but right now we want to focus on our national community. Never again will anyone's interests come before the interests of the American people. It's not going to happen again. And over the last 2 weeks since our victory, I've spoken to many foreign leaders, and I will tell you, they have such respect for us. They all tell me how this was amazing. They all tell me how they sat in their magnificent rooms in different countries throughout the world. These are the leaders, the prime ministers, the presidents, all of them. How they sat in their magnificent rooms watching in wonderment and hearing how people came to vote that didn't vote in 20 years. People came to vote that haven't voted before. And they had Trump shirts on, and they had Make America Great hats on, and they had buttons pouring off. And they thought it was amazing. And honestly, one of them told me, I truly respect the United States again because of what happened. We're going to seek a truly inclusive society where we support each other, love each other, and look out for each other. And that means that people coming into our country have to be people that have the potential to love us, not to hate us. We condemn bigotry and prejudice in all of its forms. We denounce all of the hatred, and we forcefully reject the language of exclusion and separation. We're going to come together. We have no choice. We have to, and it's better. It's better. We seek a future where every American child is fully included in the American dream. We're going to have our own American dream. And we're going to bring back the American dream. The problems that plague our inner cities or that afflict poor rural communities, and we do have those rural communities, some of them are poor. We're going to help those people. We're going to rebuild those communities. They're not permanent features of American life. They can be fixed, and together we're going to fix them. We are going to fix them. We've spent, as of this week, according to the latest count, we've spent $6 trillion in the Middle East. And the Middle East today is far worse than it's ever been. You will see changes very quickly. A shrinking you will see it. A shrinking workforce and flat wages are not the new normal. And we're not even talking about flat. We're talking about wages where some of you in this audience, hardworking, incredible Americans, were making more money 20 years ago than you're making today. And today, you're older and you're working harder. And in many cases, you have 2 jobs. Some of that's because of Obamacare. And by the way, we are repealing and replacing Obamacare. We can reverse the stagnation and usher in a period of true opportunity and growth. Endless gridlock is not a way of life any longer. We don't have to accept that. Government can be responsive, and we can become proud again of how Washington works. And I've spoken to Democrats, and I said to them, look, we can't go on with this gridlock. It's gone on for so many years. It's gone on for so many years. They can't get together. We're going to get together. And I believe they want to get together. You know why? Because it's time, and the people are angry. They're angry. And they're going to get together. We're going to make joint decisions. We are, and the nice part, our victory was so great. We have the House, we have the Senate, and we have the presidency. But we want to get them on board also. People are constantly telling me and telling you to reduce our expectations. Those people are fools. They're fools. But this campaign proved that the old rules no longer apply, that anything we want for our country is now possible. Anything we want, right? Now is not the time to downsize our dreams, but to set our sights higher than ever before for our country. Now is the time to push for real, profound change that restores the full promise of America for all of its people. And those people are great people. I got to know them, believe me, over the last 18 months. And what we've created is a movement, and it's a beautiful thing. You take a look here, the roads are all gridlocked, all locked down, all secured up, and people pour in. It's an amazing thing. Now is the time to unlock the potential of millions of Americans left on the sidelines, their talents unused, their dreams unrealized, and their aspirations totally forgotten. And these are people of great talent. This is the moment. This is our chance. This is our window for action. This is the hour when the great deeds can be done and our highest hopes can come true. We're going to do it, folks. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. Thank you. I love you too. Some guy, look at this guy. And I do love him. He's a rough-looking cookie, though, I'll tell you. We have a lot of love, believe me. Going to be a lot of love in our country. Driven by these goals, I'm working to assemble a detailed action plan for America. My plan begins with a bold structural reform to create millions of new jobs and rapidly expand our economic growth. And you see what's happening with taxes. You see what's happening with regulations, which are totally out of control. Right now, we punish companies for doing business in America. They're actually punished. That's why they're leaving. And by the way, I have to say this. We are going to reduce taxes to a point that are incredible. For the middle class in particular, but for our companies. And we're going to reduce the regulations. But if a company wants to still leave the state of Ohio or Pennsylvania, or how about North Carolina? How well did we do in North Carolina, right? Remember when they said he cannot win North Carolina? So we had just won Ohio, Iowa, and we had just won Florida. Breaking news, Donald Trump has won Florida. They say, whoa. And we won it big. But then the people back there, the extremely dishonest press, said, right? Very dishonest people. How dishonest. How about when a major anchor who hosted a debate started crying when she realized that we won? How about that? Tears. No, tell me this isn't true. And you know what she doesn't understand? Things are going to be much better now. She doesn't understand. I mean, think of it. We won in a landslide. That was a landslide. And we didn't have the press. The press was brutal. You know what? Hey, in the great state of Ohio, we didn't have the upper echelon of politician either, did we? But I will say this. I will say this. And it was very nice. Your governor, John Kasich, called me after the election and was very nice. He said, congratulations, that was amazing. He couldn't believe how much we won Ohio by, or the election by. Remember, you cannot get to 270, the dishonest press. There is no road. Folks, how many times did we hear this? There is no path to 270. There is no path. There is no path. There is no path for Donald Trump. Texas is in play. Do you remember that one? Now, as a Republican, I'm supposed to win Texas. As a Republican, I'm supposed to win Georgia. As a Republican, I'm supposed to win the great state of Utah. I love Utah. Love those states. Remember when they said Donald Trump is going to lose to some guy I never even heard of? Who was that guy? He is going to lose to this guy. But the people of Utah were amazing, and we trounced them. We trounced. And by the way, Hillary came in second, and that guy came in third. I'm still trying to figure out what was he going to prove. Did he want to, I wanted to find what the hell was he trying to prove? I guess he wanted us to lose the Supreme Court. That's about the only thing he was going to get. But think of it. They said, I'll tell you what, just 2-3 weeks before the election. And my friends would tell me just the opposite. They live in Texas and Georgia. They said, Georgia is in play. Texas is in play. That means like we're even. And then we won in a landslide, both states. I said, what happened? Right? They go, for weeks, Texas is in play. Then you turn on the television like 2 minutes later, Donald Trump has won Texas, you know. These are very, very dishonest people. Okay. I love this stuff. Should I go on with this just a little bit longer? I love it. How about it's like 12 o'clock in the evening, and Pennsylvania, I'm leading by a lot, and we couldn't get off 98%. They didn't want to call it. We're leading by so much that it's impossible. If I lost every other vote, and they refused to call. Then at 3 o'clock, I'll never forget, I watched a particular person, and we won Wisconsin, and we won Michigan, and we won Pennsylvania, right? And that person is doing the map, and that person was saying for months that there's no way that Donald Trump can break the blue wall, right? We didn't break it, we shattered that sucker. We shattered it. We shattered it. Man, that poor wall is busted up. So, I'll never forget it though, because it felt so good. You know, more so because they kept saying there's no path and all this nonsense. So, and I go out and I see the people like this, and I'd say, how are we going to lose? I mean, how are we going to lose? But what happened? So they'd say, we win Wisconsin. Donald Trump, 38 years or so. Donald Trump has won Michigan. And then they're looking at the map, they're saying, oh, wow. There's no way for Hillary Clinton to become president. Donald Trump is president of the United States. Oh. Amazing. It's amazing. Really amazing. And one of the announcers, I have to tell you, from ESPN. Now they cover football and boxing and everything, right? And he went out, he said, I got to tell you, that event last night, meaning the election results, was better than any fight, any baseball game, any football game. He said that was the most exciting event I've ever seen, and it was politics. And then you look at the NFL. Well, now they should start recovering. But their ratings were so far down. And you know what the reason was? This. Because this business is tougher than the NFL. It's crazy. The people liked it. Their ratings were down 20 or 21%. And it was because of us. So we had a lot of fun. The bottom line is we won. We won. We won big. Whether it's producing steel, building cars, or curing disease, we want the next generation of innovation and production to happen right here in America and right here in Ohio, right? First, on taxes. We're going to massively lower taxes and make America the best place in the world to hire, to invest, to grow, to create, and to expand. We're going to do that. On regulation, we're going to eliminate every single wasteful regulation that undermines the ability of our workers and our companies to compete with companies from foreign lands. We're going to do that. We have the greatest competitors on earth. And by the way, I've put on some of the greatest business people in the world. One of the networks said, why he put on a billionaire at Commerce. Well, that's because this guy knows how to make money, folks. He knows how to make money. I'd like to put on a guy that failed all his life, but we don't want that, do we? No, I put on a killer, and I've been honest. I said, I am going to be putting on the greatest killers you've ever seen. We need that. It's time. It's time. It's time. We have a great, great cabinet, I'll tell you. It's coming, and wait till you see what we have next week. Are we doing a good job with our cabinet and our people? And I don't want to tell you this because I want to save the suspense for next week. So I will not tell you. I refuse to tell, and don't let it outside of this room. Do you promise? Raise your hand. Promise. So I will not tell you that one of our great, great generals, don't let it outside, right? And of course, the press is very honest. They'll never let this go. Even though it's all live, they got about 7 stations live. We are going to appoint Mad Dog Mattis as our Secretary of Defense. But we're not announcing it till Monday, so don't tell anybody. Mad Dog. He's great. He is great. I asked one of the generals, I love the generals, and I won't use his name, but he probably would come forward. But I said to him, you're a good general, aren't you? Yes, sir, I am. I said, so how do you compare to General Mattis? How do you compare to Mad Dog? Sir, he's better than I am. I loved it. I said, I love you to say that. They love him. So we're going to be announcing him on Monday of next week. Keep it inside the room, but that's what we have, and he's our best. They say he's the closest thing to General George Patton that we have, and it's about time. It's about time. Okay. So I gave up a little secret. My people over there are probably saying, you weren't supposed to do that, Mr. President. On energy, we will pursue energy independence and cancel the job-killing restrictions on the production of shale energy, oil, natural gas, and clean coal, and we're going to put the miners of Ohio back to work. On infrastructure, we will build new roads, tunnels, bridges, railways, airports, schools, and hospitals, including major projects in the inner cities. There's such potential in the inner cities. We're not using our potential. Remember when I would make the speeches, I'd say, what the hell do you have to lose? The African American community was so great to me in this election. They were so great to me. Amazing. I couldn't believe it. I started off at a low number, and every week, boom, boom, boom. And I got it up to a number that's higher than all of the Republican candidates for years. And it was great. The Hispanic community, I did great with the Hispanic community. Great. Higher than people that were supposed to have done well. I felt it. And is this really a big surprise? We did great with women. Can you believe it? Great with women. A couple of polls came in. A couple of polls came in the early states, and they said, we don't believe it. He's doing well with women. But every time I went out, I saw those beautiful pink signs, right? Women for Trump, and I knew we were going to do that. So we did great with women. We did great with everybody. We will deepen our harbors and new lanes of commerce across the nation. We have harbors that ships can't even go into. We will have two simple rules when it comes They don't know that Hillary lost a couple of weeks ago. They forgot. I don't know. Where do these people come from? Oh, well. They're taking her back home to mom. No, it's true. It's true. They don't realize. They don't know. You know, a lot of the people that protested, we said, did you vote? No, I didn't vote. They don't vote. They never vote. And do you agree with my stance that if people burn the American flag, there should be consequence, right? Think so. We will have two simple rules when it comes to this massive rebuilding effort. Buy American and hire American. We're going to do it ourselves. We're going to do it ourselves. And that will be our new mantra. On trade, the history of nations teaches us that the strength of a country and its trade and manufacturing sector is vital to both its economic prosperity and national security, because we don't do that. Our borders are weak, our trade is terrible. You're gonna see a turn that is so big, and it's gonna happen so fast. And we started today in Indiana. Believe me, that's just the beginning. That's just the beginning. Our trade deficit now is nearly $800 billion a year. It's a chronic drag on growth and a destroyer. It destroys the wealth of our country and jobs, Ohio has lost 1/3 of its manufacturing jobs since NAFTA. And you know the nice part? Now I don't have to say, signed by Bill Clinton and approved by Hillary. Who cares? All I can tell you is that NAFTA is a disaster. What difference does it make? We will fix NAFTA or we'll terminate it and start all over again. America has lost 70,000 factories. Hard to believe. I always say that's a typo. 70,000 factories since China joined the World Trade Organization. Think of it. In the year 2000, America had nearly 20 million manufacturing jobs in the Rust Belt, okay? Today, we have only 12.3 million manufacturing jobs left in the Rust Belt. We're gonna bring them back. We're gonna bring them back. We're gonna bring them back. The Rust Belt has been hammered. And one of the reasons I won. It's one of the reasons I won. Ohio, as an example, is down from 1.2 million manufacturing jobs in the year 2000 to only 690,000 jobs today. Not gonna happen anymore, folks. Or take Michigan. They're down from 900,000 manufacturing jobs in the year 2000 to only 600,000 manufacturing jobs today. I see these numbers and it's sad. But what isn't sad, because this is all about hope, but it's real hope because we're going to turn that around so fast. And we don't want Ford leaving and going to Mexico to build its small cars. We don't want it. We're going to turn it all around. We're living through the greatest jobs theft in the history of the world. I've been saying it for months. It used to be the cars were made in Flint, right? And you couldn't drink the water in Mexico. Today, the cars are made in Mexico, and you can't drink the water in Flint, Michigan. You know that, right? What a difference. But we're turning that around. What a terrible thing that was, too. Gross incompetence on so many levels. The era of economic surrender is over. We're going to fight for every last American job. It's time to remove the rust from the Rust Belt and usher in a new industrial revolution. We're going to do it. On health care reform, we will repeal and replace Obamacare. We have no choice. We have no choice. And we will finally fix health care for America's incredible veterans. Veterans, we love our veterans. Where are the veterans? Raise your hand. Who's a veteran? We got a lot of veterans. Our veterans have not been treated properly. And I want to thank our veterans, and I want to thank our military, and I want to thank our police forces, because the number of votes I got was staggering. Staggering. For whatever reason, people in uniforms like Trump, I don't know, I have to figure that out. These are great people. We're going to take care of our veterans, and we're working right now on somebody to run the Veterans Administration who will be terrific, believe me, terrific. And I'll be watching, too. I'll be watching. On child care, I'm asking Congress to pass legislation to support the American family and make safe and affordable child care accessible to all. It's so important. Our agenda will fight to increase pay and opportunities for women in the workforce. Support women entrepreneurs. Who's a women entrepreneur here? Who's a women? A lot of them. Hate to tell you, men, generally speaking, they're better than you are. Now, if I said it the other way around, I'd be in big trouble, don't you? And we're going to make sure that no one is penalized for the decision to have a family. Right now, they're penalized. On crime, the murder rate has experienced its largest increase in 45 years in our country. Think of that. We're going to support the incredible men and women of law enforcement. They are incredible people. My administration will marshal federal resources to bring this crime wave to an end, most in 45 years. We believe all Americans have the right to live in safety and peace, and we will never back down in fighting to deliver that security to every community in our land and to our inner cities that have been forsaken. They take care of our inner cities and the people in our inner cities. On defense, we will begin a major national effort to rebuild our badly depleted military. Have no choice. We have no choice. You look at this world, it's a tinderbox. We have no choice. And we want a strong military, and we don't want to have to use it. Ideally, we don't have to use it, although we will destroy ISIS. At the same time, we will pursue a new foreign policy that finally learns from the mistakes of the past. We will stop looking to topple regimes and overthrow governments, folks. Remember, $6 trillion, $6 trillion in the Middle East. $6 trillion. Our goal is stability, not chaos. Because we want to rebuild our country. It's time. It's time. We will partner with any nation that is willing to join us in the effort to defeat ISIS and radical Islamic terrorism. Okay, we have to say the term. Have to say the term. In our dealings with other countries, we will seek shared interests wherever possible and pursue a new era of peace, understanding, and goodwill. On immigration, we will restore the sovereignty of the United States. We will restore the sovereignty. We will finally end illegal immigration. Have to. We will construct a great wall at the border. Dismantle the criminal cartels and liberate our communities from the epidemic of gang violence and drugs pouring into our nation. We will ask Congress to reform our visa and immigration programs to protect jobs and wages for American workers. I love American workers. I love these people. You know what I call the American workers? The forgotten men and women of our nation. And those men and women came out to vote. Nobody ever thought that was going to happen. They came out by the millions. These are great, great people. To keep our nation secure from terrorism and extremism, we will suspend immigration from regions where it cannot be safely processed. We have regions of the world, people are pouring in. I don't have to say who's letting them in anymore. I just have to say they're pouring into our country. We don't need San Bernardino. We don't need another Orlando. We don't need another World Trade Center. We don't need Paris. You look at Paris, you look at Nice, you look all over the world, look what's happening to Germany. We don't need that, folks. We have enough problems, believe me. Your state has just experienced a violent atrocity at the great Ohio State University. And that is a great place. That further demonstrates the security threats that created. And these are just threats that are stupidly created by our very, very stupid politicians. Refugee programs. We offer our thoughts, prayers, and deepest sympathies to the victims. And our hearts go out to the entire community of Ohio State. What a great place. Great place. We're with you, and we will stand with you every single step of the way. The job of the president is to keep America safe, and that will always be my highest priority. We will do everything in our power to keep the scourge of terrorism out of our country. We're going to keep it out of our country. Just so you understand, people are pouring in from regions of the Middle East. We have no idea who they are, where they come from, what they're thinking, and we're going to stop that dead cold flat. And you just take a look at what just happened in your state. Just take a good look and really think about it. Ethics reform will be a crucial part of our 100-day plan as well. We're going to drain the swamp of corruption in Washington, D.C. Drain the swamp. Thank you. I will impose a 5-year ban on executive branch officials becoming lobbyists and a lifetime ban on officials becoming lobbyists for a foreign government. Change is not going to be easy. I am going to need you to fight as hard for these proposals as you fought for this great campaign of ours. We are going to need our government and this movement to be more engaged and more vigilant than ever before to help us accomplish the reforms and overcome decades of stalemate and gridlock. We're going to get it done, folks. Now that you put me in this position, even if you don't help me one bit, I'm going to get it done. Believe me, don't worry about it. Be easier if you help, but that's all right. Don't worry, I'll get it done. Importantly, we are all going to have open arms, and we're going to invite everyone from all political persuasions to join our movement to help us achieve our goals for this country. Great schools, safe neighborhoods, a thriving economy, and a government that answers only to the people, our people. We are going to have to dig deep, and I know you and I and all of the people working with us are up to the task. There are a lot of people working with us. Every single day, you will be the agents of change. Change for our country, but good change, great change. Americans must ignore the pessimists and embrace the optimism that has always been the central ingredient of the American character. We are the nation that won 2 world wars, that dug out the Panama Canal, that put a man on the moon and satellites all over space. But somewhere along the way, we started thinking small. I'm asking you to dream big again, and bold and daring things for your country will happen once again. I'm asking you to join me in this next chapter of this unbelievable and unprecedented movement as we work toward prosperity at home, peace abroad, and new frontiers in science, technology, and space. I am asking you to... Is that right? Yeah. I love this guy. He's a believer. You are a believer, right? He's a believer. I'm asking you to believe in America once again. We have many challenges, but this is truly an exciting time to be alive. There's been no time like it. The script is not yet written. We do not know what the next page will read, but I'll tell you, it's going to be a great page. But for the first time in a long time, what we do know is that the pages will be authored by each one of you. Each one of you. Americans will be the captains of their own destiny once again. You know, I talk about our great movement, and you are the movement. I'm the messenger. I'm just really the messenger. Although I've been a very good messenger, let's face it, right? I've been a pretty good messenger. So once again, I want to thank Ohio. I want to thank the great people of Ohio. It's an incredible place, an incredible state. There's been nothing like it. And remember this, it was when they called the landslide that we had in Ohio that these extremely dishonest people started saying, something's happening very big tonight. Something's happening very big. And I've been saying it to you for many months, but I'll say it one last time tonight. We are going to come together and make America great again. Thank you very much. Thank you, Ohio. Thank you.
A historic night as President-elect Donald J. Trump gives the first speech in a series of to come victory tours, or as they are calling it, the Thank You Tour. It is our honor and privilege to bring it to you tonight here on Right Side Broadcasting. We are looking at some amazing things coming up. We don't want you guys to miss it. I want to remind everybody that you can also watch our Trump Tower elevator cam tomorrow. We will start it maybe a bit late because our guy is going to have a long trip home to New York tomorrow. We are opening an office in D.C. We are opening a newsroom and a studio here in Auburn, which is unbelievable. You've never seen anything like it, and you're going to love it. And you'll get a chance to see that next week. We're putting the finishing touches on it right now. Thank you to everybody that stood by us during the election, and for all of you who have been so patient waiting for us to come back. We are just honored and thrilled to be a part of this, and we ask for you to help us out as we continue to grow and to help us in our mission to make the mainstream media just go away, man. We're tired of you guys, and we're going to do it. We're bringing hours of new programming to our network soon. We're going to announce partnerships and things like that very soon. Please help us at rsbn.tv/donate. That is the lifeblood of our company, donations. We don't take big donations from outside investors or anything like that. We are strictly funded by you, and that's what makes this operation so special. And a reminder, 112 million views over the course of the election, plus I think we had about that same much streaming these simulcasting our rallies to Mr. Trump's Facebook page. And that had to have made a difference in the election, and we were honored to be a part of it. Just a few, and a girl or two from a little town in Alabama who made a big difference. This is amazing, and we love all of our supporters and fans and all that you've come up and to us at the rallies and told us the stories. And all of you that mailed donations in, there's custom thank you letters on their way to you, and we appreciate everything that you guys do for us. So I want to remind you that there will be several other thank you rallies coming up next week. We will broadcast every one of them live. We will be at all of the rallies. The only camera that spins and turns that spins and shows the crowd. Right Side Broadcasting Network. We are very thankful for you guys. Gonna go now and watch some scenes of the crowd as they filter out. I want to say thank you again to all of our moderators in the chat room, moderators on the website rsbn.tv. You guys are amazing. Send a special shout out to our friend Sherwin Wendell, who is over in Europe right now watching and listening to us. So many people we want to thank, but we are about to launch something very cool. So we ask that you help us and bookmark us at rsbn.tv. Donate at rsbn.tv/donate. Check out our original programming that's going to expand next week. We'll see you back later. Enjoy the music as we play this one out. I almost forgot, you can download all of our original music at rsbnmusic.bandcamp.com. Everything you hear on Right Side is original music, and we can't play the music at the rallies due to the copyright restrictions by YouTube. So anybody that's wondering why we always play our music, that's the reason. We just don't want you to sit and listen to blank air. So Jacob Seals, who happens to be my brother, is also a great musician and recorded some tracks. You can check him out at rsbnmusic.bandcamp.com. This one is even the music gets so popular that even the Trump campaign, during the campaign, had this as their on-hold music. So go check it out, rsbnmusic.bandcamp.com.
This is Dave Kilner from the band Coldwater Canyon, and you're watching RSBN, the Right Side Broadcasting Network, your #1 streaming source for all things Trump. You can find Coldwater Canyon's music on cdbaby.com and keep tuning in to RSBN. We'll be right here on the Trump train with you. We're gonna make America